Kai is one of our members. He's very curious. He has been working with Freecad lately, discovering a lot of stuff. He has been making a few things, and actually, I think basically you're going to talk about how you figured out stuff and how it works in the really.
Yeah, it's not often I get the opportunity to talk about something I actually don't really know much about. But yeah, let's do some Freecad. Alright, so yeah, quick, who am I? I'm Karel, known as K within Hackerspace. I work as an InfoSec person. I love repairing stuff, and that's the reason why I had to learn myself Freecad. Because sometimes you need these little parts to fix something that you can't just buy in a shop. And I needed something to make those. I came out on Freecad, gave myself a crash course, made some little stuff, and I've been using it for about a year now, where I from time to time I make a little part or make a little thing. I had no CAD experience before that, so I'm not the expert, still not. If there's probably going to be, I don't know if anyone has used CAD in some capacity before. Okay. So maybe there's some stuff I will be doing completely wrong. You can let me know afterwards, because I'm here to learn as well. So what we're going to do today, we have only 1 hour, so we have to keep up a little bit with time management. It's going to be, Freecad is a huge program, lots of stuff, lots of options, lots of tools. We're going to focus on part design. We're going to use only a couple of tools. Again, there's a whole bunch of stuff we can do, and feel free to experiment. So we're going to limit ourselves to a rather simple design that is actually, that can do, I hope, in an hour, and uses some of the tools as described. So we're going to make an hexagonal flower pot. Sounds more interesting than it is, but it's just a little flower pot. Easy, complete. You can print it afterwards if you want to. First of all, what is Freecad? From the website, Freecad is a 3D parametric modeling application. It is primarily made for mechanical design, but also serves all other uses where you need to model 3D objects with precision and control over modeling history. More easy said to make 3D objects. I hope everybody has Freecad installed and open. So you should be seeing, well, we're gonna start, because I think you have the start page. You should be seeing this. So if you click on create new, you have a new window. A quick so a quick introduction to the interface. At the center, the big part with the 3 objects, that's a 3D view. That's where you will be seeing the actual object or the actual sketch you're working on. You can also manipulate it and turn it around. We'll look at the mouse or the key presses needed to do that. 2 is the tree view, where there's the relationship is shown between the objects. 3 is the property editor, where there's the properties of the object selected. Up there you have all the tools for the current workbench, and 5 is a little drop-down menu where you can switch between the different workbenches. Now, what is a workbench? A workbench is a set of tools grouped together for a certain task. There's a whole bunch of them in Freecad for sketches, drafts, to program robots, lighting, and to program or configure CNC paths, all that stuff. And you can add whatever you want as it exists, or make your own as add-ons. We'll be using part design and the sketcher. That should be enough for what we're doing today. Probably going to forget this, but I can always come back if necessary. These are the most important, or what I think are the most important mouse controls within the 3D view. So if you click on an object like a side or a vertex, sorry, you select it, and that I'll show you in a minute how that exactly what that does. But sometimes you have to select certain stuff to change stuff or to add or remove stuff. With Control and right mouse or the middle mouse you can pan. Shift with right mouse you can rotate, and with the scroll wheel zoom in and zoom out. We'll go over that in a minute. So we start by going into the sketch workbench. So again, on the top you have this drop-down menu that lets you switch between workbenches, and we'll take the sketch workbench. To create a 2D sketch, we start by clicking on the new sketch button. Which is up there. I don't know if you can see, it's a little bit small, but on the left, in the toolbar on the left, there's a create new sketch. It is rather small, isn't it? Has everyone found that? Or did you find the button? Yeah.
In the middle, that version has nothing started.
Yeah, I'm working on the version that came on Ubuntu, but I know there's actually it's a couple of versions behind, so it's possible that your mileage may vary. Then it'll ask us to choose a plane. We'll just use the XY plane, and we have a little grid now. So yeah, just a quick note. It's nothing to do with what we're going to do today. But if you wanted to do technical 2D designs or 2D CAD designs, like a building plan, or you would be using the draft workbench instead of the sketch workbench. I made that mistake before. So
if I want to make a floor plan, it's better to use.
You wouldn't be using the sketcher. You would be using the draft toolset. So first, we're going to create the basic shape. By doing that, we're going in the top. You have different buttons to create. You can draw lines and add points, but we can also make a preset figure. In this case, there's this little button on top that says create a regular polygon in the sketcher, and there's a little drop-down menu next to it. There you can choose hexagon. If you click it, your mouse pointer will change to a hexagon creator. If you drag the mouse over the 3D view, it will create a hexagon. You don't have to worry too much about where exactly it is placed, or the position, or the radius. We'll do that in a minute. So it's just enough to just create it, click drag, and click again. Well, no, let go of the mouse button, and you'll have a hexagon. Yeah, well, I did. We did just that. Then we're gonna add our constraints. Now, what is a constraint? A constraint is a logical rule that defines a relationship between two elements. So the points, the vertices, or the points of origin. So we want to sketch to be fully constrained, which means a fully constrained sketch has all its elements constrained, so there's no ambiguity in the way it is drawn. What does that mean exactly? If I ask you to draw 2 lines, you could do it like you can make 2 parallels ones, two lines that cross, 2 that are like straight up. You know, they can have different lengths, different positions, different sizes. There's an infinite amount of ways you could interpret that. There should be only one, and that's why we're going to constrain it. By constraining a sketch, there is exactly one way that it can be drawn on our 2D plane. Sorry. For that, there's a bunch of tools. So in the top, you have a whole section of the toolbar which gives you all the constraints options. And first we'll add the geometric constraints, and then we'll add dimensional constraints. Yeah. So if you go to, well, if you watch the part here, under constraints, it already gives you a bunch of constraints. That's because we started from an already made hexagon shape, and so it automatically added the constraints necessary to define a basic hexagon. Further interesting detail is it'll tell you here on top in solver messages. It'll show you how many degrees of freedom the sketch still has. So we can still. You can still make it larger, move it around, rotate it, and all that stuff. So we need to constrain the amount of ways it can move. So we're first gonna center the sketch on the zero coordinate. So we're gonna click. Yeah. So we're gonna click on the null coordinate, the 0 coordinates, and on the center of the hexagon. And then we're going to click on the create a coincidence constraint on the selected items. So it's the little dot on top. Watch out not to. There's another one that's rather similar, and that's create a point. It's not that one. You should look at the part with the constraints and click on that one. It will map the 2 points together. Is that working for everyone? If you selected by accident, you selected something else like a vertices or another point, it can give you an error. If you want to deselect your current selections, you can just click outside of the sketch, and it will deselect everything. Then we'll do something about the rotation. We're going to select one of the sides of the hexagon and constrain it with a horizontal constraint. So we're going to tell it that that line should be horizontal. So, for example, we select this side right here, and we'll add the horizontal constraint. Everybody still following? No. I'll give you a minute.
So I didn't find this form. So I select my 2 points and then.
Okay. It's it's a bit small. I'm gonna see if I can do something about that.
Yeah.
For everyone else, it's clear? You managed to do the first 2 constraints?
for pixels.
Yeah, it's very basic.
You can pull this down a bit. I thought you have to drag this. You see the small line there?
Yeah,
Next to it. You drag it down and put it under. You can see them all together. Yeah. And this one should go back. You see all the buttons. Or next to it, further down.
Yeah, to center it there on 0, 0 coordination. So I selected both dots, the center here and this.
Yeah.
And then
This cross here.
this.
Yeah, I think they changed the button in a newer version to be a little bit more.
Select this, select two tools.
I think maybe like take it right.
Yes. Yeah.
Then the center is fixed room.
Now we lost the other one again.
Yeah. Okay, now I
It's a bit small, but the idea is good.
You can drag it open again now if you want.
And then for the horizontal constraint, select one of the sides. Just one of the sides, and then you click on horizontal constraint, which is horizontal.
Now it's really small.
If you, yeah, that's one little handy tool I haven't really put in the presentation. If you, I don't know if you can see it here on top. There is different tools to manipulate the view, and there is the first one. It fits the whole content on the screen. If you click that one, it should put whatever you have on your 3D view. It will center it, and it will make it completely visible in your 3D view. Okay. Everybody's following along again? Cool. Then we're gonna constrain the size. For that, we're gonna basically define the radius. And we're gonna do that by selecting again the center point and one of the points on the x-axis. So the hexagon should have 2 points on both sides of the 0 coordinates. So we select the center one and one of those two. And then we click on fix the horizontal distance, which is also a horizontal bar, but with how do you call them, brackets on the sides? Serifs. And it should give you a menu, or it gives you a little box where you can enter the radius or the size. So center and one of this, and then we'll put in, for example, 75 millimeters. You're free to play around with the size. It doesn't matter that much for most of the things we'll do. If that's done, everybody's successful in doing that? Yes? No? So when that's done, you will see that everything turned green. And in the solver messages, you see that the sketch is fully constrained, fully constrained sketch. So we are done constraining. You can still try to move around the sketch or the parts of the sketch, and you will see that it won't budge, it won't move, it won't rotate, it won't stretch or shrink. All right. Yeah, again. Okay, so now we've done the basic sketching part. And we're going to the parts design workbench. So on the drop-down menu, if you click it, you should be able to, first click on the drop down, then you click on part design, and then you'll see that we get the toolbar, all the tools we have to we can use have changed. There's datum tools, there's additive tools, subtractive tools, transformative tools, and dress up tools. They should be neatly divided by these little stuff, so you can move them around if you want. So first we have to create a body. We do this by in the tree view, you select the sketch we just made, and you click on create new body and make it active, which would be the up here, all to the left. It will ask you again for the plane. You just choose the XY plane, and it should have put the sketch that you've made inside of the body in the tree view. So that. There we go. That's clear for everybody? Alright, and then we're ready to go 3D. So again, we select the sketch in the tree view, and then we click on Pad a selected sketch. Afterwards it will ask us, it gives us the opportunity to fill in a height or a length. So this button right here, and it'll give us a height, so 150 millimeters, for example. It'll look a little weird. So now the rotation, mouse click come in handy. So shift right click will let you move around the image. Alternatively, again with the view tools, you can set it to front view, top view. Well, that's going to be the same, but yeah, you can manipulate in an easy way. Everybody got to there? No?
I didn't know.
Oh, voilà.
No, but an error like this.
Yeah, so that's where the creation of the body comes in. So you're in part design, so you select the sketch, that's run, and then you click on the little blue there. Yeah, and then you click XY plane. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, and now you should ready. So now you just go to the select the sketch again, and now you can execute. Yeah, that one. And then you give it some value. So 150, for example. Everybody else got that? Or any issues? Okay, then we'll continue. So, yeah, click on OK to confirm the changes. Then we're going to make the part hollow. There's two ways we can do this. We can make a new sketch on the top side of the 3D object, or we can just use the tool make a fix solid. We're gonna choose to let Freecad do the work, and we're gonna use the make a fix solid button or option or tool. So to do that, you select the top face of the hexagonal prism of the object, and you click on the make a fix solid tool. So select the top, and make a fix solid is over here. So I'm gonna add 5 millimeters thickness, and I'm gonna make make thickness inwards. Subtle difference. One will, work around what you have. Like I will add to the diameter. The other one will make the thickness inwards. So you have this way we'll stay within our we'll stay with the size we've chosen earlier. Otherwise, we'll have some extra width. Again, we confirm it okay for changes. So as you can see, we have a hollow object which still has a bottom. So it's not completely it's not a tube. We just removed all the interior of the object. So we're gonna clean it up a little bit, and we're gonna add some fillets to give it more rounded shape in the center of the within the flower pot. This is gonna be a little bit tricky because we have to select all the vertices on the inside of the model. This is going to be a little bit tricky. You have to make sure you have to click on every one of them, then rotate. You're probably going to need the rotate function from time to time. But remember that if you misclick, it will lose your selection. So I'll give you a little bit of time.
What's on the mouse?
Yeah. So shift right click will let you rotate. That's clear for everyone, or anyone needs more guidance or? Okay, I'll have a look.
I have Fillet here. Did I do? No.
You have different settings for the mouse.
No, okay, no, I was
So, yeah,
right clicking.
Yes, the right click. Yeah. Yeah.
And
So
number
it's the vertices, so not the side itself, but the lines.
The lines.
Yeah. So it's gonna be a little. Yeah, it's a little bit confusing. I know.
You can put the view in wireframe mode. It's much easier to.
That's a good idea. Never used it before.
I use it for that.
Where can I find it?
It's in the view menu. You have display mode, draw, taskbar.
Wireframe, great, cool.
Of course, yeah.
You still have to select the.
Yeah, and to know which one is front and which one.
Yeah.
Is tricky too, but it's easier to pick the right line. Yeah. You should have like in Blender that you can undo the wrong selection. Yeah.
You can add afterwards, once you open the fillet menu, then it's easier to select and add them. So if you select one, do fillet, then you can have an add button.
Yeah.
It's easier.
That's true. So is this?
If you select the So it's easier, even easier. If you select the face and check
for the bottom.
it works.
For the bottom only, or
Yes, for the bottom.
yeah, like it's you're completely free to do whatever you want. But I wanted to demonstrate the but yeah.
You want it to run the
Yeah, all these sides. If you don't want to, I'm not gonna make you, but so and then we'll when that's done. Well, then we'll go back to no, that's not what I had in mind. Alright. Then we click the make a fillet on an edge, face or body button. And we'll give that a value, for example, 7 millimeters. That gives it a nice little smoother edge on the inside, as you can see.
Which button?
So, oh, of course, you lost my selection. Fillet, which is on top, the red and blue, you know, one of the. Yeah, it is a bit small, but. And I wonder if you can't just. Actually, I didn't check that last time. If you just choose all the sides, will that work?
Yes, but it will also fill it top.
On the top, yeah.
But that's not bad.
So I'm gonna. All right. Any questions, or you're still occupied?
How many millimeters?
7.
Yeah, but maybe. Put it in English. Your keyboard is straight.
It's working, or? What is the problem?
When I put 7.
I mean that. You're free to, you can play with it.
No, it's perfect. Just wondering why. Okay.
Do feel free to experiment.
Yeah.
All right.
Because I
Everybody got that?
One is select
So, of course, with the flower pots, you want a system, or you want small holes in the bottom that excess water can go out. So we'll do that. So we're gonna start by selecting the bottom face of our pot, of our object. So the bottom on the inside, and and we're gonna draw a new sketch on top of that side. So you select it, you click new sketch as we did in the beginning, and we're gonna draw a circle. The circle can be done in the same way we did the hexagon in the beginning. So you have a tool that'll make a circle for you, and then we're gonna constrain it with a vertical constraint on the well, yeah. No, I seem to be. Anyway, we're going to constrain it on the two axes, so that there's a set length between the x and the y axis to the center of the circle, and we're going to give the circle a radius. That way, it should be fully constrained. So we're going to select the bottom. We click on create a new sketch. We are again as you may have noticed, it'll change automatically to the sketcher workbench. So then we click on circle. Again, if you rather have a hexagon or something else, that's fine too, but we're going to keep it simple. Then we're going to select the center. Yeah, I said a horizontal constraint, but I meant a horizontal distance. There's a little error in the slide. But so we click.
He's looking from backwards.
Yeah.
and select it. No, does it matter? I'm looking from the bottom or from the inside.
Not really. But the only thing is, if you're looking from the bottom, your plane is maybe on the other side, and sometimes you don't see the stuff.
So yeah, so for conformity, I would advise to go the other way around.
So I could
Yeah.
I select
Yeah.
the bottom.
Select and then click on new sketch. Yeah. Okay.
Am I on the?
I think you should be able. I don't know.
Do I see on the bottom or on the inside?
I think you're looking at the inside. Can you move it? So if you do shift right click. Yeah. So you're.
Oh yeah, I was.
If you click on top view here, so it will.
This one?
No. Yeah, that one. It'll
okay.
slip it to the top.
He was making put the water.
So yeah, and then you'll add a circle.
No.
You can add it to one of the corners. It's really badly visible here, but I put it in. I put a small circle here, and then I'm going to constrain it. So I'm going to select the circle, the center of the circle, add horizontal distance, which is like I said, there's a small error in the slides. It should be a horizontal distance constraint and a vertical distance constraint. So first the horizontal distance, and I'm going to add 20 millimeters. So it'll be set 20 millimeters from the y-axis, or minus. That's different. Yeah, minus 20 from the y-axis, and then a vertical constraint, also 20, and that's positive. and then we select the circle itself, and we click on constrain an arc or circle, so which will set the radius as well. So you can select the radius here, but I think if you click on the button itself, it'll add a radius constraint as well, and we'll add here 7 millimeters. And that way our circle is fully constrained. That works for everyone?
I don't get this pop-up with how I put the values in. I select the middle. Yeah, there's already a constraint. Yeah, if you click on constraint and delete it, the constraint will be there. So if you select the center of the circle, and then you'll add horizontal distance constraint. So I'll give you the distance to the y-axis. Then you add the value. It is negative because of course you're in the negative. So if you add a positive value, it will put it to the other side of the axis. So again, select the center, or click on the center. Yeah. And then click on the circle itself. Yep. And then the radius. And you'll have the radius here. Okay. So the very small box.
All right. After that is done, we're going to make a pocket. So we're going to remove the circle from the bottom that you have, you know, to create a hole that goes through the whole, the whole layer. We're going to do this with the pocket tool. There's actually a hole tool as well, but we're going to use pocket. So to do that, you select. So if you close the sketch, it will put you back into part design. If that's not the case, you can always do so manually. Then you select the sketch and you click on create a pocket in the. And in fact, what it'll do is everything is correct. It should automatically create a hole. If it's not an exact hole, or if it if there's still a little bit like if it doesn't completely go through the bottom, you can always change the value to have something more, something deeper, so you have the complete thickness of the bottom layer. It's working. All right, but then we have created one, but we actually want 4. We're gonna, what you could do is draw 4 sketches of a circle and add the constraints and everything, but we can do this much more easily by using the polar pattern feature. So if you go back to Freecad, so if you select the pocket in the tree view, and then on create a polar pattern feature, by default it adds 2 occurrences, so it'll just add a second one on the opposite side, but here you can add 4, and then you have 4 holes on each quadrant. So it's this one on top. And when you hover over it, it says create a polar pattern feature.
okay, because I didn't click on OK and then
It worked? All right, and after we have that, that's basically the design. And I added this slide just in case we had, I was going far too fast and we had a half an hour left. But you could always, if you want to try something else, try to improve the design. That's weird. Sorry. So you could always try to make a sketch on one of the sides and pocket, make a design of your choice and try to pocket it to have some kind of texture or whatever, decorations. Or you could try to improve the design in some way, changing values, adding parts, adding extruding stuff. But I don't think we have too much time, so. So yeah, so we have our 3D model, and now we probably want to print it. Before we can, to actually do the print, we need to convert our object to an STL or mesh file. This is simply done by, you have to export it. That can be done by Control E, or going in File, Export, and then save the document as an STL file. Yeah, then you can, so Control. And then we have our STL file. And then you can import it in any kind of any slicer software if you're choosing for whatever printer you're using, but that's a bit out of scope for this presentation right here. But yeah, then you can print and do all that good stuff. If you want to know more about Freecad, you can ask me, but I will probably tell you. I will probably tell you to go to the wiki, which is actually pretty good. I use it all the time. There's some tutorials. The wiki will actually propose certain existing websites that have tutorials in them, and there's also pretty good videos on not so free, well-known platforms, video platforms. So there's lots of stuff out there to learn. So yeah, I would say experiment, give it a go, try stuff, try to make things, print them, try other stuff, etc. All right, that was everything from me. You're welcome. Yeah, again, if there's any questions or I'm not sure I can explain, go in much detail. All right, well, thank you very much.
Thank you.